Who will own the Metaverse? Actually, the Metaverse doesn't really even exist yet, which of course makes it a bit more complicated. But it's for that very reason that it's important to discuss it now, so that we can partake in shaping what it becomes in the future. Since I wasn't able to find the Metaverse in my dictionary, I made my own working definition. We can define the Metaverse as a shared, persistent, virtual collective space created by a convergence of virtual reality technologies and the internet. We are, in other words, imagining a spatial internet that we encounter as our encompassing reality. Now, a couple of weeks ago, I wrote a piece at the VR and philosophy blog Metaverse titled Who Will Own the Metaverse? The piece was critiquing Facebook or Oculus' aggressive politics for attempting to dominate the VR space. Not only is Facebook actively destroying companies in competition with them, they're also utilizing aggressive tactics towards their customers. If you buy a new Oculus device, you can't use it without registering for a Facebook account, and if you want to delete Facebook, you also lose access to your games, and you can't access your devices. On the one hand, Facebook is the company that we can thank for bringing VR technology to the masses. On the other hand, while this may mean that you may be free to go wherever you want in VR, this is dependent upon the fact that you are never free to leave Facebook, and all your virtual endeavors and the data that it creates is safely locked within the walled garden. Let's discuss who will own the Metaverse. As humans living in the information age, our being in the world is increasingly mediated. By being able to record and transfer almost every conceivable human activity as digitized information, we work in the abstract realm of the virtual. The Metaverse is the ultimate realization of this pattern, not through computers and smartphones necessarily, but through powerful immersive technologies such as VR and AR. When these technologies become accessible, which is what may happen way sooner than what we think, the value of such a metaverse will be hard to even imagine. The reason for this is quite simple. Virtuality is more affordable and flexible than reality. Everything we already do effectively at the World Wide Web, we may be able to experience in the format of reality, as opposed to abstract symbols on our smartphones. This has great business potential, to say the least, as we humans will be deeply involved in the technology, become dependent on it, and thus spend vast amounts of time on the platforms of the owners. Oculus, the largest VR company in the world, just released their newest flagship model, the Oculus Quest 2. The wireless VR headset is a standalone, so it doesn't need a powerful PC, has superior graphics and resolution, and has in its category of wireless standalone head-mounted displays no real competitors. The price is at only $299, so low in relation to the competition that many potential buyers wonder how it's even possible. What can lie behind this very clearly subsidized price? It is becoming increasingly difficult to see the difference between Facebook and Oculus. All new users of Oculus devices and all those who have purchased an Oculus Quest 2 now have to register at Facebook with real names and ID. If you delete Facebook, use a false account or break the terms and conditions, you lose access to all your purchases and applications. This is the reason for the subsidized price. The wonderful white reality gadget that can take you to different worlds simultaneously restricts you from leaving the infrastructure of Facebook. Facebook's demands for real ID verified account is very unusual in the technology world, and when this is connected to threats of banishment and confiscation of virtual possessions, the situation is chilling. Here we see a company that seeks to create and control the metaverse and is already in position to exercise their power as they wish. This sheer use of power to lock in users gives the Quest, which, when it came, oozed of freedom and cyberpunk glory, a bitter and sour taste. The battle of the metaverse has begun because where we humans are, we can be affected, whether this is through advertising or political conviction. The challenge of giving that much power to private companies is the potential discrepancy between our interests and the interests of the private actors. We already see this with social media today, and the problem will only grow with the increased immersion and data being gathered in virtual worlds. To be fair though, Facebook does actually serve their customers very well. It just happens to be that you're not the customer. You are, if anything, the product of Facebook. Your data, or their data of you, is sold to the real customers of Facebook, the companies that wish to purchase advertising. As human beings, we need to take responsibility for where we want to exist and keep the power to set our own success criteria for the kind of metaverse that we want to have. We need to secure the possibility to affect the world around us to the better for ourselves and our society. So, what can we do about this? Well, the largest and most important thing that we do is to keep the dialogue on the potential of the extended realities technologies going, so that we can establish an attitude and a relationship to our own priorities. Fortunately, this mostly doesn't involve preparing for doomsday scenarios. It's equally important, if not more, to envision the positive potential of these technologies. We need more discussions regarding what we actually need and want, and how we can design these technologies of the future in a way that serves us well. I hope you enjoyed this video. At this channel, AltVR, we try to discuss VR from a philosophical perspective and actively experiment with this fantastic medium of the future. At our YouTube channel, we run a VR and philosophy podcast entirely in VR, where we meet up with interesting guests to discuss the possibilities of our technology-infused future. In the same spirit, we also create our own applications, like virtual reality memory palaces, virtual reality apartments, and we also use virtual reality in sensory deprivation tanks and to create out-of-body experiences. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please take time to like the video and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you around.